Hi guys, Tommy from Tenerife here, and it's pissing down with rain. So now, the camera's finished buggering about. It's time to get into the chopper.
Chop, 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 chop. Before we get into it, what I want to do is just talk a little bit about why it's a good chopper or why it's a bad chopper. Why Claas or why not Claas? You know, just a few basic bits of information that you should maybe be taking into account if you're buying a chopper or whatever. And what's good about this one, what's bad about this one. Right, why Claas? It's just the pedigree, it's just the harvest machinery, forage machinery pedigree that they bring to the table. They weren't the first ones to build a forage harvester. That title goes to New Holland. In about, I think, 1962 or maybe 1961. You know, Claas were even beat by John Deere. John Deere was 72 because last year John Deere celebrated their 50 years forage harvester. And Claas were, I think, 73, at least a year behind. Doesn't mean that Claas were any less capable. The fact was that in Germany, especially Ostwestfalen or Eastern Westphalia, the farms were the size of gardens compared to those in America. Farmer may have had, I don't know, back then 10 hectares, and that's what Claas were building choppers for, or who they were building their equipment for. We had East and West Germany. Germany was cut down the middle, and where all the large-scale farming is in Germany is in Eastern Germany. So Claas didn't even have a market in East Germany, and obviously not in East Europe at all. Basically, the market for Claas was focused on West Germany. At the start of the 60s, we were seeing farms in America with way over 2,000, 3,000 hectares. We were seeing milking herds of 2, 3, 4, 5,000 cows. Yeah, that was the difference. Without going into it too much, the start of the 70s, we saw the birth of the first contractors that were traveling from farm to farm to harvest the corn and maize, to drill corn and whatnot, and they needed more flexibility, they needed more power, they needed a machine that would basically get more maize in the silo. And that's where we got the Jaguar 60 SF from. Very soon after, however, we realized that we needed a bit more power. We got the Claas 80 SF first. We got the 80 SF, which had, I'm pretty sure it came out with a V10 Deutz air-cooled motor with around 210 horsepower, 220 maybe. Some of the Deutsch experts will have to tell me if I'm right. And that was like a revolution, you know, that thing could chug off with, I think, 5 rows. And, you know, it was gone. It was gone. We'd got the accelerator, you know, the blower and it was very quickly clear that the 60 SF, it wasn't, there was too much of a gap between them. So I think around the mid-70s or 76, there was the Claas 70 SF that was available with, I think, 150 and 170 or 155, 175 horsepower. And that filled out the range, and towards the end of the 70s, we lost the SF60, I think around 77 or so. You know, I've not got any fact checker at the moment, so I'm not reading here off a piece of paper or anything. You know, this is all coming out of my head, so it might not be 100% correct. But around that time, you know, 76, 77, the 60 SF was discontinued. With the 80 SF from Claas, we got the auto steer, and the auto steer was that good that companies like John Deere and New Holland and whatever, they were buying it from Claas and putting it on their own harvesters. It was a revolution. What was also a revolution was the Claas accelerator or crop blower. I think these developments that we saw in the end of the 70s, start of the 80s, is pretty much just a credit to German engineering and the Eastern Westphalian ingenuity at the time, or not at the time, in general, and this idea that Helmut Claas had to build the best equipment he could. So where other manufacturers were, you know, trying to get ahead by just throwing more power at a machine, Claas were thinking about refining the machine. I honestly don't think that there is a manufacturer who has the whole packet. I know there's John Deere have done some great things, Corner have done some great things, even New Holland. I mean, sadly, New Holland, being the first guys to build a self-propelled forage harvester, they've literally just destroyed any name they had for themselves. I'm sorry, but they were terrible machines, and they are still terrible machines. If you're sat there and you work for New Holland, have you drove a Claas? Have you drove a John Deere? Have you drove a Corner?
What the fuck is wrong with you?
I mean, you can drive a Hostelmarsch, your Russian things, and you will still be sad when you get back on your New Holland. I'm sorry, those are terribly constructed machines, terribly constructed machines.
That is a pile of dog shit.
I'm sorry, that's my opinion. You know, New Holland build brilliant combine harvesters, really, really good combine harvesters, but forage harvesters. So what does that have to do with our chopper? We have got a Jaguar 960 from 2017. That is, like I said before, one of the last in the 497 series. What is 497? 497 is the first 3 digits of the serial code. All Claas machines get identified by the first 3 digits of the serial code. So this being one of the later machines, it has got a Mercedes-Benz OM473 in it. And I don't care what you guys sat there from America saying, Detroit and Cummins, and I don't care where you come in.
Did you just come in me?
But when I want a motor, a good motor, for a harvester, there are only two names on this planet. One is Mercedes, and the other is MAN. So what is the OM473? OM473 was, or is, a 6-cylinder, I think 15 litres or 50 and a half litres. It has a maximum of around 625 horsepower and a maximum torque, I believe, 3,000 Newton meters, or it's between 2,600 and 3,000 Newton meters. Now, the amazing thing about this motor is it'll do it at such a low revolution. So we're saving an amazing amount of fuel, and anybody who knows this motor knows that it sort of replaced the OM502, which was the V8. And everyone's like, oh, they're cool, the V8, you know, everything you put it in wobbled about. Yeah, it was okay. It was a big V8 and it looked cool, but that was it. It blew fuel into the air like nothing. What are the bad bits about it? Bad bits are Mercedes. It's expensive. Parts are expensive. The parts, if you order your parts over Claas, they are extremely expensive. Filters and all the rest of the shite, you know, an oil change it's horrendous. It is horrendous. It's not the easiest motor to work on. You know, it's running double overhead cams. So should you have to pull the head, you know, the whole process gets a little bit more complicated. German over-engineering makes everything expensive. The good thing is, you know, you can get these parts, you can get lots of parts from them for them from your generic AutoZone or whatever. I'm not going to say any names. Right, up here in the cab, up in the roof, we've got, you know, your generic lighting, Klima automatic, radio. It's a bit dark in here, I'm sorry. Then you can see that, yeah. Your warning lights, your window washers. We have Reifendruckregelanlage. That is tires on the front. On this one, we've just got on the front axle. You know, we can auto inflate and deflate. Rear window washer. This here is our field and road button, so that will lock the hydraulics and lock the you know, the trommel. Yeah. Then we've got all round blinds on every window. We've got washer blades all around on every window, so side windows as well. Passenger seat. Under the passenger seat is a place where you can put your rubbish. This isn't a fridge. It is a fridge if you order a fridge. Yeah, and then we have got, I'll turn it on. Yeah, we got the joystick. This is where we control the machine while we're driving. Up, down, position controls. This here is the controls for the chute. Oh, you're gonna see 1,000 warning codes now. No? Okay, just one. That's no, two. Any more? Yeah, those are the chute controls. This is to start the machine that we've got on the front, whether it's the pickup or the maze header. Auto steer or tempomat and whatnot. And here's the automatic controls for the chute that we can switch sides automatically, so that it'll turn completely from left to right into the different saved positions. So you can save the position left and right. And in Germany or in Europe, it's quite common now that we will chop left and right. It saves a lot of time. So the chopper will turn at the headland straight back on itself. You'll press automatic chute, and the chute will swing around on its own. So and the trailer driver will be alongside you, so you won't have to hold left or right. You know, you just boom, you turn around, and you go. And this is the automatic return park position. That only works when your trommel is out or off, and you're driving under a certain speed. I don't know how fast it is. I'm pretty sure it's 5 kilometers an hour or 10 kilometers an hour, and as long as you're under that speed, it'll return to its sleeping position. Finally, this is to reverse the mounted machine, so your header. And on the front, I'm not sure if you can see that. Yeah, on the front of the joystick is also a button that can be used to control things like the lifting of the pickup or opening the pickup if you've got it, if you've got metal in there or something, or to swing the wheels out on the pickup. So that's just another control. Right, we have our Cebis computer, here, with all the chopper information. We'll go into that very quickly. But first, we'll just go through the rest of the buttons here. Here we've got the left button is used for different. You can see it on the screen. Different applications, so we can set the gap to the anvil, or we can set the corn processor distance, or we can set the blower, the accelerator distance. So you've got some settings on this wheel here, and then you use the left little wheel to raise or lower, and then when you want to get rid of it, you just go back to the 12 o'clock position. The same here. This is things that on the other one, things that will appear in your in your screen. You can sort of pick them out. But we'll go through Cebis another day, a lot more than we will today. So we have, obviously, that is the driving gauge for the chopping trommel. Here's our park brake. Here's the 4-wheel drive. That is to turn on your silage additive system. This here is to open and close your maze header, or like to fold your maze header together or back together or yeah, you know what I mean. This here is to lift your chute up. You'll basically just lift that up as high as it goes when you get on the field, and then left, right, and controlling the flap at the end is all done here. So behind the cab we've got the chute. This is where everything comes out. You know, it's all sensor controlled. Yeah, it's not a great deal to say about it. These are wear plates, or the top is wear plates, and from inside there's wear plates. There's different varying qualities of wear plates. This machine here had a premium line, which is the highest. Look at that, yeah, look, she's ripping out. Yeah, which is premium line is the highest available quality, and it really, and I'm not just trying to sell you something very expensive, it really does make a difference. The chute itself is in different manageable pieces. So you've got the first piece, and then you've got basically little pieces that you can fit in between. So we've got one extension in there at the minute. One is always in there. That's that bit right in the middle of the camera now. And when we go into maze, we will put another 2 extensions right there. Okay, and that will give us a much longer chute. We can throw maze a lot further, and you know, we don't have to drive as close to the chopper. So it's very important that for maze you get the chute extensions in. This machine has a 12-row header on it, so we put 2 in, and that's like 3 extensions altogether. These are a very weak point of these choppers are the rear wear plates. You know, they do get shagged quite a lot. They don't seem to last, and it is, as soon as you get a wear point, it'll slow down the flow of maize or grass as it's going through the chute, and it'll just take power away from you. You know, it's good to know, or it's good to have driven the machine when it's new, so that you know how it should react if everything's perfectly tuned in. And you'll notice that if you've got a slight wear in the back flaps, back flaps,
beef curtains.
You know, you can't even say the word flaps these days without some kids laughing. Yeah, you know what I mean. Yeah, I forgot to, for those John Deere guys, the Harvest Lab enthusiasts, I wanted to show you that this chopper also has a NES sensor. Oh, it's a bit tight up here. So this is where our sensory unit is, and the box that sorts all the information is that thing there. And basically fiber optic cable delivers the information. Right. For all of you wondering, back from the EDC video, I had that 30mm spanner in the hand that I said was a special tool for Claas. That thing. So. That is why. All these buggers are opened up with either an 8mm Allen head. Allen's head? Jesus, mother of crikey. I think somebody's knackered it. Somebody's definitely knackered it. Oh, that's a bugger. Well, that's a bugger. Come on, you shitters. Ah, somebody's bugger that. But you get the gist of things. That's where the special tool comes from. So if we open up the side like that, we can see two things. The motor area or motor room and the service room, or what we call the service room. This is where the corn processor will be, or at the moment we have the grass, what we call the grass schacht, or the grass delivery thing. We have the radiator box with the self-cleaning system. Does sometimes work. Like I say, back here we've got the motor. We can make that a little bit more accessible. No, it's much more accessible. This cover, or this guard back here, can also get removed. Here we can see that. Here we can see the radiator from behind. The radiator drive. So we'll go in the back of the service space here. Like I say, that's the radiator packet. Above it we've got the two motor air filter housings, the automatic greaser. That's just the tank for your window washers. This is the patch box. Pretty much everything electronic gets shoved through that box. Here's your Profi cam, where you can plug in more or different a series of cameras to be shown in the cab. And this is the chute with the turntable, which is very new because we replaced it. No, sorry, the turntable didn't get replaced. We replaced the turntable drive, so everything here, the motor, the hydraulic motor is the same, but everything else is new. We put a strengthened version in it. Yeah. And this is where you can look down into the accelerator. So that there is the accelerator that turns. Look, there's rat shit in there as well. For fuck's sake. I'm not going to stick my hand in there because I'm not sure. I doubt there's any rats in there now, but just in case. So for those of you that don't know, that thing turns around like buggery and sends maize there. And this goes on here to clean the radiator box, which is very important because this obviously this motor sucks air in like bloody hell, and with it all the grass or maize or whatever is flying around in the air will get stuck on the radiator. And using the vacuum from the accelerator and a complicated system that we will go through when we do the pre-harvest. Now there's rotating brushes and this vacuum side. It sucks it off.
She sucked me off.
Right, I'll try and insert a video how the accelerator works. Now we need to get to the front end of the chopper, the business end, and we'll go through what's there and why. So here at the front of the chopper, we've got what's called, in German, der Einzug, or the feed housing. What this is, excuse me, I've still got corona. What this is a setup of 1, 2 rollers at the front that are mechanically, with those big springs, pulled together, or they should be. This spring's not under tension at the minute because there's something broke, but they are mechanically pulled together and designed to grip the silage or the food and pull it into the machine whilst compacting it together. So these rollers, the actual job is to compact the feed together as much as possible. The more we can compact the food here, the cleaner the knives will cut. If the food is loose, then you won't have as tidy job with the knives. This you'll notice this a lot in grass, where the swath isn't as big, or if the grass is dried a little bit too much for silage production. You'll notice that you don't have this real tidy cut. On the top here we've got the plastic, the plastic teeth. That's basically just to prevent grass reeling itself up around the top roller. You can take these off for maize. That's That'll be something for another video, how to optimize for maze. But we've got the two rollers at the front, and I got a light in my pocket. Hang on. We've now got the feeder housing open. We've got two at the back. We've got the transport roller, which is down here. And we've got the top, the top roller, and they basically just transport the food over the shear bar. Here we've got a an invention that's supposed to prevent what's actually happening. So we've got a lot of work to do here. You know, we've got to set this up, this scraper, and we've got to replace, if you see that, the wear plates. The wear plate's broken out at the bottom, and it's actually pushing against that top roller. Yeah. So that's the feeder housing. You know, we've got the main gearbox here, then we've got the roller gearbox on the other side, around there. At the bottom we've got the drive for the header. The brake for the header drive needs to be set up a bit, but it looks good. Yeah, we'll get down to the nitty-gritty when we start doing the pre-harvest check. So here we've got the trommel. 28 knife trommel with premium line knives. The knives, you can see, can you see it? Yeah. If you can just see that those are grass knives, or what's actually known as universal knives. If you can see, here's a little grass picture, and that means you can use them for maize and grass. Shear bar, it's also a premium line shear bar, or the most premium line from all shear bars. There are different shear bars, not just one or two, so that's another a subject for another day. We can go up here, the shear bar arms up towards the shear bar motor. That's on the right hand side. On the left hand side, that's what moves the shear bar back and forwards when you set the shear bar distance. And not sure if you can see it. No, you can't, but you've got knock sensors on both sides that'll record vibration. You can see it here. Oh, can you? Yeah. So the knock sensor goes onto those arms to register any vibrations, or basically register if the knives are hitting the shear bar, and it'll do that over with vibration. Right, and up here we've got the sharpening stone and the sharpening stone drive cylinder. So I can, here, that's the sharpening stone. The sharpening stone door is open because the machine is turned off, so we can look into the trommel from the top. We will have to set this up as well. I'm going to set the stone, and the chain is a bit loose, and the cylinder moves left to right, and pulls the stone with it. The knives turn underneath it, and yeah, that's how it sharpens itself. So this particular chopper has a 28 knife trommel. That means 28 knives in total. It's V-shaped, and either side 14 knives. And basically the more knives, in theory, the shorter you can chop and the cleaner you can chop. It's not that good for people who are making food for cows. They want a much longer feed. So we've got the ability to remove every second knife and put what we call blinds in, so that you screw a little blind piece of steel in the holes, so that the threads don't get knackered. It's very important that these are balanced, and the new knives come in packets of 2 that are perfectly balanced to each other, and they have to come exactly opposite each other in the trommel. So we'll do a video on changing the knives, but for now these are good. So we won't be doing it on this one. And just going back to the feeder housing, this here is something very important that I forgot to mention. This here isn't just a roller at the bottom. This is the metal detector. That's why it's all made out of stainless steel, including all the screws, all the nuts, everything is stainless steel. All the steel parts around the side and anywhere near this roller, all the steel parts have been magnetized. So parts for the feeder house are very expensive, because you need to be 100% sure that they are not magnetic, because the metal detector basically is just a giant series of magnets that runs inside this roller. Basically, that's it. There's not much more to show, other than we can get, this is the main drive side of the chopper. That's the main drive. We can remove the mudguard on this side. I will do that in a minute. Yeah, that's the evil box. That's the thing that Americans hate. Oh, look at that one. Oh no! Ah, no! Ja, SCR-Katalysator. Good God above. That's where your AdBlue gets sprayed in. And on the left-hand side here as well, down at the bottom, we've got our silage additive pump, the pickup for the silage additive, and this is the tank for the less concentrate. Okay, this is the normal silage additive. Then, on the other side of the chopper, there, that box, that is the concentrate silage additive, and that's not a system from Claas, that's a system from Schaumann. Now Claas do a better version, and basically it was a fact that if you wanted this concentrate bacteria or concentrate additive, you had to use a Schaumann pump system. Now we can do it better. It's called Acticilia. Not everybody wants it, which is a pain in the arse for the contractors, who always, every customer wants something different, and you've got to try and make everybody happy. But Claas make an original Acticilia. We also have the normal system with 2 pumps, so we can pump a shit ton of additive for those who want to use stuff like Ameisensäure and molasses and whatever.